Okay, good evening. We're up to Ayin Aleph Amid Aleph. Ayin Aleph Amid Aleph, and we're in the sugya of Ben Soro Morer. And again, we saw yesterday Ben Soro Morer has to eat meat, chatzi mana, according to one opinion, Tanakama, other opinion, a full mana, a quarter of a log or a chatzi log of wine. It has to be bought cheap. In other words, it has to be good, but it can't be expensive where he wouldn't be able to steal enough from his father to go ahead and support his habit. Again, Ben Sora Mora, we're worried the whole yisoid is he will be mamshech. He'll go ahead wide and he'll be drawn after this. He's going to end up stealing from people. So as we're going to see in tomorrow's daf, we're going to go ahead wide and punish him, and not what he is now, but what he will be. And again, the punishment is skila. It is quite severe. Says the Mishnah, Garnav Mishal Aviv, V'achol B'Rishus Aviv. He steals money from his father, and then he buys the meat and wine, and he eats and drinks in the Rishus of his father. Mishal Acherim, he steals from other people, V'achol B'Rishus Acherim, and he eats in the Rishus of other people. Or Mishal Acherim, he goes ahead and steals from other people, V'achol B'Rishus Aviv, and he eats in the Rishus of the father. In all these cases, Eina Nasa ben Sora Umara. He's not going to become a ben Sora Umara. In all these cases, we'll see why. What's the reason? Says the Gemara. No. Mishayignoi mishal aviv v'yochel b'shus acherim. Ad sheyignoi mishal aviv v'yochel b'shus acherim. Now, guys, there's two nekudas over here. It has to be shchiach, and he has to be not in fear. So to steal from your father is shchiach, because you're around your father. To steal from other people is not shchiach. So therefore, you'll never have a case of ben soru morer if he steals from other people, because it's not shchiach. What you need is not shchiach. You need shchiach and no fear. The only case you'll have shchiach and no fear is you steal from your father, which is shchiach, and you'll eat it in somebody else's rishus because you're not scared, because it's not your father. So if that's the case, anytime you steal from other person, right away, that stops it right then and there, because it's not shchiach. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda adds, Omer at sheyignov mishal aviv u'mishal. He has to steal from his father and his mother, not just what his father and his mother. Okay, Rashi says that sheyignov mishal aviv is shchiach lei lignov tamid. And he eats b'shus acherim v'leiboyes. Shleiro aviv, and his father doesn't see him eating it. And in that case, he will continue to do it, to steal from daddy and eat it by somebody else. So Rashi gives you the two nekudos, shchiach and leiboyes. Says the Gemara, Gana mishal aviv v'achol b'shus aviv. Afagav b'shchiach lei, even though it's shchiach to steal from his father because he's found there, boyes. He's uncomfortable. His father's going to see him eating, that meat. Mishal acherim v'achol b'shus acherim. Afagav leiboyes, even though he's not boyes scared because he's somebody else's rishus, leishchiach lei, because he's not found to steal from others. V'kol shekei mishal acherim v'achol b'shus aviv. And certainly if he steals from other people and eats by his father, because in that case, mishal acherim is leishchiach. V'achol b'shus aviv is boyes. He's scared. In other words, those are the two negatives. Stealing from somebody, this is shchiach, eating by your father, which is boyas, which you're scared to do. So the shchiach boyas, because it's not shchiach to steal from others, boyas to eat by his father. At sheyignoi mishal aviv, which is shchiach, v'yochel b'shus acherim, which is boyas. The shchiach boyas. So I think you pretty much have the nekuda. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Omer at sheyignoi mishal aviv, mishal imai. He has to steal from both. Imay minalan. How do you have a case of minala? How do you have a case minala of anything that the mother has that possibly could be stolen? Masha konsa isha kana bailo. We have a rule in Shas: whatever a woman acquires, it automatically goes to the husband. Whatever the woman acquires automatically goes to the husband. So how is it possible the mitzias of stealing from both? So, you know what? It's a suda that was prepared for both of them. Fred the Gemara, we said that's his father's name. Rav Huna, Ein Chai Bat Sheyikna Basa B'Zoil, V'Yoichel Yayin B'Zoil, V'Yishteh. The Ben Soromor is not stealing meat. He's not stealing wine. He's stealing money and buying wine when it's cheap and meat, right? And certain types of meat. But again, if you're telling me he's stealing from the Suda, according to Rabbi Yosef Yehuda, from his mother and his father, that's not a Ben Soromora. Ben Soromora is what? Is stealing money to buy it. So obviously that can't be a good teretz. How's it possible? So back to the original question. Masha kana isha kana baila. How do you have a mitzias what of eating by the mother and the father? Okay, that's one teretz. You stole money that was set aside for a suda for the parents. So that's how, that case, since you're stealing money and you're going to buy cheap stuff, cheap wine, the aknle acher, another person was makna to the mother, I'm going ahead and giving it to you. Amanas that what? That your husband doesn't have what? Rishus in it. In that case, she would have ownership. We don't say mashakani shakana baila. And therefore, that would be a case if you steal from, in that case, you would be, that's the mitzias of Yisrael Yehuda, stealing from both. Haya'aviv roitza, father wants to go ahead and take him to Bezdin and punish him. The imay eina roitza, and the mother doesn't. Aviv eina roitza, father doesn't want. The imay roitza, but the mother does want. Eina nase ben soromora, at shneim roitzim. You're not going to be ben soromora until they both want. And the Gemara is going to learn from a pasuk. If the mother was not roy to the father, the havamina is it's not a good kiddushin. So you need mother and father to be on board together. Failing that, one or the other is not on board, it's not a ben soromora. And in order to be ben soromora, you need the mother to be roy for the father. And as we're going to see from this Gemara, guys, this is why there never was a ben soromora. This is why you cannot never have a ben soromora. My ein ruya. What does it mean ein ruya? What does that mean? Ilema chayve krisos v'chayve misas bezdin, meaning the kedushin is not typhus. Because why? Because it's the union is one of misa or krisos. Saif avua ninu v'ime ninu. Fushtate they have to be married. Fushtate. It just says what? Beinenu. Guys, if this is an illicit marriage, is it the biological son of the father? Is it the biological son of the mother? So if who state that what that the marriage has to be a marriage is kosher v'yasha? He doesn't listen to the voice what of his father and his mother. That's it. So that can't be therefore the pshat in Ein Ruya that the kedushin doesn't work because fart it is his mother and it's his father. Ella, listen to this, guys. Bishavel aviv ka'amar. The mother has to be equal to the father. What does that mean? Tanya nami hachi Rabbi Yehuda Aimer. Im loyhoyse imay shavel aviv. If they're not equal, bikoil, they have to have the same voice. Ubimare, they have to look the same. Ubikoima, they have to be the same height. Eina nasim and so umora. My taima amakra einenu shomea bikoilenu, our voice. Midikol bein in shavin. Now, when you need the voice to be the same, mara b'koima nami bein in shavin. The svara they should look the same as well. In other words, when you're telling me the voice should sound the same, it means they should be the same all around. Now, obviously, this is very hard to do. So, continues the Gemara. Keman oz lahad tanya ben soru morer. Who's the according to one who says that what ben soru morer lehoyav le'asel le'yis. It never was and never will be. Right? V'lama nichtov. So why, if there never will be a ben soru morer, why is it written? Darish v'kibul schar. Because you darshan it, you makabel schar. Kiman, who does it go according to? It must be according to who? Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that what? They have to be equal in voice, they have to be equal in size, they have to be equal in appearance. It's not something you could have. Okay. Iba Yisema, Reb Shimon, it's not Rabbi Yehuda, it's Reb Shimon. The Tanya, Reb Shimon. Because he ate a chatzi mana of basar, v'shatza chatzi loy gayin, italki, and drink half a loig of Italian wine. Over the ima might see a mother and a father going to take him out for skila. I mean, parents have taken a lot less from their children, a lot more from their children and didn't kill them. They may have want to, but they're not going ahead and telling the police, go ahead and kill them. Go put them up for trial. Right. It wasn't, it never will be. Rabbi Yonasan, Ani Yisiv. I saw Ben Sora Morer, V'yashafti al Kivra, and I sat on this keva. Kiv Eged Seichens in Yardea, not supposed to sit on a keva. Anyway, Rabbi Yochanan says that Darish v'Kibul Schar. Okay, fellas, let's finish the mission. Then I'll go over what I'd like to go over with you. Okay. Kiman Ozlahad Tanya, Irni Dachas, Leichaisav Leyasid Liyais. And Irni Dachas never was and never will be. V'lama Nechva, Darish v'Kibul Schar. Kiman, Rebbe Eliezer. The Tanya, Rebbe Eliezer Omer, Kol Ir, Sheyesh Ba Afila Mezuzah Achas, a city that has even one mezuzah, Ein Anasas Irni Dachas, cannot become an Irni Dachas. My time, what is the reason? Amakra, Ves Kol Shaloloi Tikbais Al Toich Ruchava. You should take all the spoils, put in the middle of the street, V'Saraf the Beish, and you burn it with fire. The Kivin the Yik mezuzah, since you have a mezuzah, Lo Yefsha, Dechsiv, Leisasim Kein Hashem Elokechem. Don't do that. Erase Hashem's name. So l'chayr, you can't do that. Memela, every city can have at least one mezuzah. So memela, you never have one in Irni Dachas. Rabbi Yonasan said, "Ani Reisiya, I saw an Irni Dachas v'yashafti al tila, and I sat on the tail, the heap that was left from it. Kiman, okay. Kiman.
So I guess that goes for any davar shebekadusha, right? Not only mezuzah, tefillin, mezuzah.
Yeah. It's Shem Hashem. Shem Hashem. Now, so Rabbi Yonasan, I don't have a good shot in Rabbi Yonasan seeing this. Like he saw this. I mean, right? He's the only one who saw both things, right? It's a shverlich. Okay, you find the pshat, guys. Now, in Eretz Yisrael, there is a halacha of a base menuga that you can have a house. Nothing would say mitakretz. You have a house that has tzaras in it. It has tzaras. Okay. So, there never was one and there never will be. So why is it written? Darish v'kibul schar. Kiman, Rebbe Elazar, Rebbe Shimon, that non Rebbe Elazar, Rebbe Shimon Omer, lo'ilam eina bias tamei. The bias is not tamei tumis negayim. At sheyirah kishtei grisim. You need to see two grist, size of a bean. Al shtei avonim, b'shtei ksalim, b'keren zavias. Archu kishtei grisim, v'rachva kishtei grisim. In other words, you need to fulfill something very unique. In one spot, equal size, dafka this place in the wall, never happen. My time was of Shimon, Ksiv Kir, Ksiv Kirais, Ezu Kirshu Kikirais, which is one wall that is like two walls. Hamiyam is a Keren Zavias, that's the corner, right? The corner wall, when it makes the perpendicular right there. Tanya, Amr Elazar Tzadik, Makam Haya B'Tchum Aza, there was a Makam in Tchum Aza, by a Karvin slave, Churvasai Sagirta. They called it the Churva of what? Of the Mitzayra. That's what it was called. Amr Shimon, Ish Kvarakoi, Pamachas Halachti Legolil, Varisi, Malcolm Shemet Sainaisai. I found where they put away the stones. Wamru Avonim Minugoyim, Pinu Lashon. They took the Avonim and they put them over there. So obviously, according to this, you could have an Irni Dachas. Now, guys, it's very geschmack. In Yoni Di Yoima, Aza is part of Eretz Yisrael or not. Gaza, Eretz Plishtim, right? It's amazing. That place has been giving us service since the beginning of time. They want to bring a raya from here, fellas, that it's Eretz Yisrael. Because the house of Beis Menuga is Be'eretz Achuzaschem. It says by Beis Menuga, Eretz Achuzaschem. So the fact that they found right in this place, right, of a tzaras, is a raya that want that. So why does this in your Dorish Kibul Schar? Yeah, you learn it in Kibul Schar. So I'm going to share with you a Torah Chaim. I saw it years ago. I've shared it with you every single cycle since, but many people don't remember it, if that's possible, and many people haven't seen it. But this is a classic. It's a classic. Why does it mean Dorish Kibul Schar? It is unbelievable piece. You can see this, yeah? You can see it clearly. Darish v'kibul schar. L'chayra tema. Kivim v'tachlis hashas. Mashemevi lidei maisa. The purpose of shas, of mitzvahs, is to bring you to what maisa. In Cain, matayelis yesh lulmay dava leishayach b'maisa. Why should I? In other words, the purpose of the Torah. Torah is the book of Hayra. Guys, Torah is the shirish of Hayra. Hayra means to teach. To teach means what to do. So if it's not something that can be done, of what purpose is it written in the Torah? V'lav kushihi, says the Torah's Chaim, it's not shver at all. I think this word is koitz. She'en lecha koitz. Koitz is like a thorn, like even on the shtrikel on the yud. She'en lecha koitz b'Torah ve'en lecha mitzvah she'en lesoid be'atzmusay yisbarach. In Lichten Torah, fellas, is the atzmius, the essence of Hashem. Shneimar Elokim Haven Drachel, B'hu Yodai Es Mekayma. Mekayma Hainu Yisoida. It's foundation. U'Mekayra Batzmusay, and its makar is the atzmus Yisbarach. B'chol Oisik B'Torah Af Agav She'ina Oisa. Even if you don't do anything, how you Oisik B'Chvaid U'Kdushasai, you're being Davik B'Deshchina Sichla B'Yisbarach. Says the Torah's Chaim, guys, a politic thing. He says, don't think Torah is limited to what? Asiya. By learning Torah, you're connecting to the Atzmius of Hashem. In Torah, likt Hashem. Biggest raya, Meshech Chochmah in the Parshas Vayera. What do people do lachamei Mesashana? They sit in the Mesifta Derakia. They're sitting in the Mesifta Derakia learning Torah. But 1 second, you can't do anything anymore. There's no schar anymore. So what does it mean that you're sitting in the Mesifta Derakia and learning? And the answer is, by learning it, you're getting closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's pshat, guys, being nenemi ziva shchina. You go ahead, this is my own stuff. You're going ahead and some way, somehow connecting to Hashem. You connect to Hashem through Torah. It's nothing to do with Maisa. It has to do with that Hashem is the atzmius of Torah. There's an essence of Hashem in Torah. That's the insight. Let's continue.
Perhaps the reason why in this world there is Maisa, because we couldn't do anything else. We can't attach ourselves that way because we're part guf.
It's to go ahead and overcome our limitation. Torah can go ahead and overcome our physical limitations. Very good, Rabbi. It's true. This is very famous Gemara in Masechta Shabbos. B'shas she'ola Moshe l'maroim, when Moshe went up to get the Torah, Amru Malachei Hashares, Rebbeinu Shalom, Chemda Genuza Mishesis Mei Bereshis, this Chemda Genuza that you have put away from the beginning of time, Atam Evakesh Litnu LeBasav Adam, you want to give it to Basav Adam? Tino Hoit Chol Shemayim, go ahead and keep it in Shemayim. V'heishel Moshe Maksiv Ba, Sachos Yom Shabbos, Klum Ata Oisim Malacha, Leisisa, Klum Yesh Masa, Mata, you have no business Beinechem. Uvemedrash Shachatoiv Hiskinami Zavim. Is there any Zav by you? Mitzayroyim Nida V'Yoledes V'Isa Hasam Ki B'Shash Sha'asu Yisrael Esa Egel Samchu Malchi Ashares Amru Ata Tachsa HaTorah Eleinu. It's going to come back to us by the Cheder Egel. They thought they're getting it back. Ulechayret Hema Masal Kedai Tayu the Malchi Ashares. What were they thinking? Didn't they know they have no shaykhs to the siyas ha-mitzvah, as Moshe said? The Nerali, says the Torah Chaim, Kedipirashti, the Tarti Gavna Isa b'Torah. There's two chalakim of Torah, Asiya u'Shmiya, performance and listening to. The Hainu, Shemaisigin al Yodai, Kfoidai u'Klushasai Yisbarach. You're able to go ahead and be massive and attain the covet of Kudsha B'richu. For all al das hamalachim, the bishmiya lechuda sagi, that just listening to it is enough. For other yisbarach sheyinu lehem, and better HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give it to them. Kim shehem ruchani, since they are what? Spiritual beings. V'yesh lehem koyach lahasik al yada, and they have the capacity to be masik through it. Kvodo yisbarach, tfei Yisrael sheim basav adam. more than Yisrael's basar dam. The heishel lahem, the chayesh beinechem zavnu mitzarayim, the tarti vadayadif. Shmiya and Asiyah is certainly better. The chemashma b'medrash Rabba b'Mekilas Esther. And Yad Yomi, guys. B'shosh shenenu Yisrael misudas achashverosh. Amad Satan the Hilshin Amal Afonav Yisparach. Ad Masai Tedabek B'umezeh. How long did he go ahead and stay with them? Over there, son, min oilam, destroy them. Amalei, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told the son, V'toyer matei aleha, v'asvet zayin. Amal Afonav Rabbani Shloilam, to stapek Bel Yoinim. It'll be in Bel Yoinim, it's enough. V'gam hish v'daita shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu limchas es Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed. Midalei ka'amar, Tino oisam Lel Yoinim. V'nokat, to stapek Bel Yoinim. Mash Menochi kamalei. The main koroloi nesata Torah Lel Yoinim. It wasn't given to Lel Yoinim. Mishum delay hayisi mistapik behen. Kivim le shaykh buasiya. El shmiyas lechud.
Can you raise it? Can't see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think that's it. Let me make. If I make it small, I could raise it. No, it's stuck here. Anyway, Mishum delay hayisi mistapik behen. Kivim le shaykh buasiya. El shmiyas lechudei. Ata she'en Yisrael. Mekaymin, son. Now that Yisrael is not keeping it, histapik bel yoinim b'shmiya lechudei. It should be enough the shmiya alone. So, guys, that's pshat. That's pshat in Erni Dachas. That's pshat in Ben Mora. That's pshat in Beis Menuga. These mitzvahs were never made for that siyah. These mitzvahs, guys, only had the shmiya aspect. It somehow licked in Ben Moira. Somehow licked in Erni Dachas is this atzmius of Hashem. They were never made to be performed. Darish v'kibul schar. Learn them, and you'll get the schar of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu's essence. But einachinami, they were never made for what? For performance. Because there's two chalakim of Torah. There's the shmiyah and there's asiyah. And therefore, the asiyah does not apply to Ben Mora, does not apply to Ermi Dachas. Beautiful teretz, guys. Beautiful teretz, a very, very difficult inyan. And also, it gives you an understanding of the special thing of Torah. Torah is not just an intellectual limud. You have people throughout history, brilliant people who applied themselves to Torah, but they remained unconnected because they were only interested in the intellectual capacity of Torah. They weren't connecting to the asiyah. They weren't connecting to the spirituality of Torah. What does it mean, a mitzvah? I mean, we can't be massive. What does it mean? Rav Shmuel ben Zatzal. Never, if you wanted him to be Masada Kedushin at your wedding, you knew it was going to be late. You had to do everything beforehand. The ksuba, the tanoim, he'd walk in. He would not leave second seder. He would not leave second seder for anyone except one time. He did one time. It just popped into my head. My wife worked for a person who was an oncologist. His name was Mendel Rashevsky. Until she moved to Eretz Yisrael, she worked for many years. Rav Shmuel's son was very sick. He was dying of cancer. Rav Label. And Rav Shmuel was at the hospital. And there was a man who was so tzibrachim. He was so tzibrachim. His daughter Nebuch was sick with cancer. And he was crying his heart out to Rav Shmuel. And Rav Shmuel told him, goes, your daughter's going to live, and you're going to invite me to the wedding, and I'm going to come. It was Mendel Rashevsky's wedding. Rav Shmuel left second Seder to be the Masada Kedushin at that wedding. He remember Shmuel understood what it meant, what every single second of Torah is. It's not just an intellectual thing, fellas. It's not just an accomplishment as we go through Shas. Every time you learn something, and every time you bring it into, as Kenny would say, you put it in your bena, in your kishkis, right? Then it goes ahead and it has an effect. It elevates you. It elevates you. If you very nice man Mokum. Look at the last Meshech Chochmah in Pashas Vayera. It's not a hard one. Go through it. It's beautiful. How Avram Avinu had attained everything he could from Torah, and he wanted Yitzchak to send to the Yeshiva Shem V'Eber. It's a beautiful piece, and it stems very, very well with this wonderful, wonderful Torah Chaim. Absolutely wonderful Torah Chaim. Says the Mishnah. Was missing an amputee. One of the father or the mother were amputees. Oichiger, that's mezog ahinkedika. a cripple, right? A cripple. Oy Elaine couldn't talk, a mute. Suma, blind. Oy Cheresh couldn't hear. Ein Nasim and Soromora. Shenemar, because what does the pasuk say? V'tafsu by aviv v'imai, they'll grab him. V'yitzio isai el zikna irai, they'll bring him out to the kingdom of the city. They'll shar makomo, and to the shar makomo. We're going to see pshat in a second. The zikna irai with shar makomo. So v'tafsu by aviv v'imai v'lai gidmin, because the amputee is incapable of going ahead and taking them and grabbing them. Him. V'hoitzin son, they bring him out. V'lai chigrin, if they're cripples, they can't bring him out. The Amru, they have to say Beinenu Zeh, V'lai Ilmin, and not people who can't talk. Beinenu Zeh, V'lai Sumin. They have to say Beinenu Zeh. This, if they can't see, they can't say Zeh. Guys, but anytime you say Zeh, you're pointing at something. Zeh, always pointing at something. Einenu Shameh B'Kalenu, V'lai Charshim, and they don't listen to our voice. V'lai Charshim, and not people, who would not know. Rashi learns they wouldn't listen to the voice. How would they not know? Because they don't hear. Masrin boy mifnei shloisha umalkin oisai. Now he does. Look at Rashi, guys. He doesn't mean mamish hasra. First of all, who gives hasra? The Eidim. Parents can't be Eidim on a son. They're apostle of Eidis. So mamish can't mean hasra. Look, straight Rashi. Masrin boy lav mishum hasra gemura. Smein nish mamish hasra. Kishara veiros. Shein loikin ela b'hasra. The hasra's Eidim boy. You need Eidim. These people are the apostle Eidis. V'oid. Zu suffik hasrahi. It's a suffik. They're not going to see him steal and eat. They want him, but she's not doing it in front of them. Im oiverhu im lav. We don't know. Shleimi yad b'fnei him oiver. Ela b'seiser. He does it clandestinely. Ulachas manu oisa. Ela, what does hasra mean? Meichichin oisai. He warned him. In other words, guys, there's a difference between hasra to be mechayev you and hasra in the protocol of warning. In other words, it's part of the protocol. This son did not listen to our voice. We gave him musa. So that's what mechichin, that we warned him. The beinin of Yisro say we need that Yisro said give him malchus. He warned him shlei yargo that he should not be accustomed to do this. And if he doesn't listen, then malkin I say bebezdin v'yolifla miviyasro I say. Okay. Now, so masim by mifnei shleisha umalkin I say chazav v'kilkaloi nidin be'esem v'shleisha. If he continues on his path, then he goes to the bezdin of 23. Ve'in in iskol, he doesn't get skila. Ashe sham shleisha harishainim. 3 of the original members that he got malchus in front of. Shnemar beinenu zeh zeu shaloka b'fneichen. This is the one that got malchus in front of you. So in Ben Soru Mora, you see 2 aspects, guys. You have the aspects of malchus, and also and warning, meaning not hasra but warning, and bezdin of 3 and 23. So I heard b'shem the Biskarov. If you look at the pasuk says v'haitzio say el ziknei irai vel shar makomo. Shar means the lotion of Sanhedrin. So the Biskarov says ziknei irai are the 3 dayanim they give malchus in front of, and shar is when you take him for the 23, the bezdin of the 23 to kill him. It's very geschmack to explain. It's redundant in the pasuk. What's geschmack in the pasuk? Very, very geschmack. Shmamina. When we go ahead, guys, and we darshan the pasuk literally, right? We're darshaning the tafsu isai like gidmin, vayitzi isai like chegrim, benenu zev like sumin. Okay, it says shmamina beinin kra kedichsiv. You need the pasuk as I state. We saw this earlier in the Masechta according to Shmuel. We saw that this is the way that what it has to be. Right? This is the way it has to be. Okay. Shiny hacha, the Gemara says it's different. Really, maybe the pasuk does not have to be exact. I mean, base. Maybe it doesn't have to be exact. The kula kroy yiseiruhu, the whole pasuk of the tafsu isai, the haitzi isai, it's all extra. Says Rashi. The matzi lemichtav, it could have simply said, v'haitzeisim isai el sharair. They take him out to the gates of the city. Ahu usakaltem. Why all this riches aloshen? This and this and this and this. So therefore, ein achinami. The pasuk doesn't that machlekes earlier, whether it has to be exact. This is not a raya because this whole pasuk's extra. Oh, a limud, that's different. A limud is different. This is the way it has to be. But again, you see how difficult it is to be a ben saru mora. It darish v'kibul schar. Again, according to except Rabbi Yonasan, who I never learned pshat in, there never was. There never was. Which parent is going to? You never know. I can't imagine the parent giving over the son because they're a drug addict for misa. I can imagine them being upset and throwing the kid out of the house, but to give him over to a court to kill him. Umasim ifnei shloisha, right? Fed Gemara. Why do you have to go ahead and give him hasra in front of two, in front of three, right? Lamali shloisha betray sagi. 2 eidim are enough. So Rabbi Hachi Kamar. Masim rov ifnei shnayim umalkan aslev ifnei shloisha. Ein achinami. You want him in front of 2, but you have to give him malchus in front of 3. Malchus ben soro mora hechi ksiva. Who state malchus? Where do you see it? So guys, we're going to learn from the word v'yisroi. Say. Kid Rabavahu, Dam Rabavahu, but Madnu v'Yisroi that it says by Moitzi Shemra, guys, by the pasuk of Moitzi Shemra. The pasuk says v'Yisroi say the pasuk by Moitzi Shemra says that the exact lashon of the pasuk v'lachu ziknei ira hi esa ish v'Yisroi say that they say they're going to take that man who was Moitzi Shemra on his wife. And they're going to Yisro, but we don't know what Yisro means. So we learn out Moitzi Shemra Yisroi Hanema ben Sairua. Now, so we're going to learn out Malchus from Ben Soru Morer to Moitzi Shemra, guys. Good. You hear? We're going to learn out. We're going to learn from Ben Soru Morer to Moitzi Shemra that when it says Yisro, so it means Malchus. Where do you see that? It says Yisro. It says Mi ben. It says v'hoya in bin hakaisa Rasha. That's Malchus. And it says v'hoya Yisro ben soru morer. So it's a twofold thing, guys. Watch. Ben, when you see the word ben, v'hoya in bin hakaisa Rasha. Where does it say ben by? Ben soru morer. Oh, it says ben by ben soru morer, and it says Yisro or so. So therefore, it means Malchus by ben soru morer. Who adin? It means Malchus by what? By Moitzi Shemra. Guys, you remember Malchus and Shema? That's the whole sugya of the loiko mishalem. The sugya of loiko mishalem, the loiko of kamle b'derab that's we got into that's the rate over there, right? That you get Malchus and you pay. Okay. Chaz v'kilkon need the mechav gimel. We said that right. He's chaz v'kilkon. He's going to be judged by 23, and he doesn't get skila until 3 of the original edim are part of the bezdin. Good. Haimi boile zevle besumin. Because again, we learned the pasuk. How did we learn from the pasuk, guys? We said benenu zeh zehu shalacha b'fneim. Zeh, this one that we brought in front of you, meaning this is the one that you gave Malchus to. Now this is the same one. Fred the Gemara. I thought we needed zeh to teach me that if the parents assume him, you can't be a ben soru mara because you can't say zeh. How could I use it for this limud? You're telling me that this zeh is teaching me that the dayanim of Malchus have to be part of the dayanim of dinei nefashos to kill him. I look from the word zeh, the one was here in front of you first. We learned that for sumim, that zeh, they have to be able to see him. Sumim. Says the Gemara, Imkein lichtei beinenu hu. The word beinenu hu would have been, I would have known that from there. Rashi says, lichtei beinenu hu, lichtei beinenu hu soru morer, umashma, hu shalaka b'fneichem. You don't have to say the word zeh at all. If you want, just learn that the one that you get Malchus, you don't have to say zeh at all. Right? When it says zeh shma min hatarta, you hear 2 things. You hear what? This one and the other. Says the Mishnah. Barach at sheloi nigmar dinai. Barach at sheloi nigmar dinai. So he's in the window, fellas. Let's go. Let's speak like Lamdonim. He's in the window of Shtei Sarois ad Hakofas Sakan, or 3 months, whichever. But Hakofas Sakan could come first, right? So he's in that window. And before there was a Gemar Din for Misa, he runs away. And while not in Bezdin anymore, now the window is closed. He's no longer Roy to be a Ben Soru Morer. Why? Because he's at the point of Hakafis Khan. Potter. He's Potter. He's Potter. However, if he ran away after the Gemar Din, and afterwards he goes out of the window, then chayev, you be chayev. So no Gemar Din and he grows up, Potter. Yes, Gemar Din and he grows up, chayev. Okay, we're going to say a din that's going to take us to the next Mishnah. Very fascinating din. Amrab Chanina, Ben Noach shebirachas Hashem. Now, a Ben Noach, one of the Zayin mitzvahs Ben Noach is birachas Hashem. You can't kaviyachol bench Hashem, right? Now, if he would bench Hashem, what would he get? Baruch, you're not supposed to do that. No, Baruch, like you do this, Baruch, you know? He loses his head. Why? Because all Zayin mitzvahs Ben Noach is Ben Noach is B'Sayef, guys. That's Daf Nun Vav. Daf Nun Vav. It's all B'Sayef. And the sugya there. So I'm looking at Ben Noach shebirachas Hashem v'achach nisgayer. So as a Ben Noach who's mechuyev misa, and now he's Megaya. Now, fellas, one of the things we saw about Ben Noach was you don't need two Eidim, you don't need Hasra, and you only need one Dayan, right? You only need one Dayan. In other words, quite easy to kill the guy. So now, two things change, fellas. Two things change when he's Megaya. One, he goes from Sayif to Skila. And two, he's going from in the din, his whole din changed because now you need Eidim and Asra and Chav Gimel. So now, Potter. Since his din changed and his misa changed. Again, what was his din? One aid, no hasra, one dayan, and a whole different din. His misa changed. It goes from what? From sayif to skila. Let's see Rashi, guys. V'nishtana misasoi, the chol misas b'nei noach sayif. The ilu of it hashta, and if he would be Berach Hashem now in his state as a Jew, boy limited daina b'skila. We'd have to go ahead and judge him b'skila. But he's not chayev that misa for what he did before. Hilkach Potter. This is not a pshat, guys. In Gershon is guy and Kikatan Chanel Dummy. It's not pshat. He's not the same person. He's a Jew now. He has a different dinim. So the act that he did, we couldn't give to him now. If he would do that same act now, it would be a totally different misa. Therefore, he's Potter. Because, guys, what are you judging him on? You're judging him on what he did, but you can't judge him that way anymore. You can't judge him b'sayif. He's a yid. You have to judge him b'skila. Since now, if what he did now, I can't judge him retroactively on what he did then, because it's two totally different things. Mashma fellas, guys, if it was the same misa, you could kill him. Mashma was the same misa, you could kill him. Again, so two things changed. The din, right? The din is much more comprehensive now. You need Eidim Asrad 23, and the misa is upgraded from Sayif to Skila. That's what Chanina's din. Amar Chanina, Ben Noach shebirachas Hashem v'achach miskaya Potter. Hayel v'nishtana dinoi u'nishtana misaslei. Name a Messiah lay. I'll bring you a proof from my Mishnah. Barach, if the Ben Soru Mora runs away, Achlei Nigmar Dinoi, before the Gemar Din, V'yachkach Hikiv Sakan Hatachtoin, Potter. My time alav mishum darminan hoyel the ishtani. Isn't the reason why he's Potter is because why? Since he changed, he's not the same person anymore. Hoyel the ishtani. Since he changed, right? You can't give him that misa. You can't kill him anymore. Guys, once he changes physically, you can't kill him. So Hayel ve'ishtani ishtani. So l'chayra, you have a raya from a Mishnah to the din what of Rabbi Chanina. Says the Gemara loy shiny hacha the ovid hashta la barkatalahu. What happens if after this window closes, fellas, and he starts drinking wine and eating a lot of meat and drinking a lot of wine? What will we do to him? Nothing. Nada. Zero. That's why he's pata. Not because hoil ve'ishtani ishtani. It's because right now you can't kill him at all. No misa whatsoever. So l'chayru, you can't bring a raya from my Mishnah to the din Reb Chanina. Toshma, im mishenigmar dinoi barach. If you had a gemar din, guys, you had a gemar din for misa, and he runs away. And now the window for being a ben somor is closed. Chayev. Kasha, guys. You don't say hoil v'ishtani ishtani. This is the kasha on Reb Chanina. Guys, this is the kasha on Reb Chanina. That you don't say it. Look at Rashi, guys. Guys, Rashi knows you're going to make a mistake. Outside, eye contact. In the lateness, Rashi will always be madrich you in the right way. So you just brought a raya lema messiah lay, right? And now you say toshma l'chayra. You want to say lema messiah lay. So when you learning the Gemara, what would you think? You would think you're bringing another proof. Rashi says two words: toshma me sefer tiyufta. Rashi threw the word tiyufta in there to tell you this is not a proof. This is a kasha, because Rashi knew you're going to mess it up. How do I know that? Because when I prepared it, I messed it up. I prepared it and I was learning. I was like, "Where's the proof? It doesn't make any sense." And I couldn't fit it in. And then, Rashi. Everything changed. That one word in Rashi, it's a kasha. What's the kasha? Chayiv, continues Rashi. Alma afa gav de ishtani. Even though what he changed, he's no longer the windows closed. Lo yifter. He doesn't get off the hook. So who adin the ben noyach, who was mevarich the shame, should not get off the hook. The ben noyach, who is mevarich the shame, should not get off the hook. Yes, kishmak. It's a kasha now. And for the Gemara, no, it's not a kasha. Why? Nigmar dina kamrit. Gemar din? Nigmar dina gavra katilahu. Guys, there's no such thing as death row in Judaism. Once you paskin misa, what's the din? He's gone. So if he runs away, it's what does it say? Dead man walking? Is there such a term? So this is dead man running, right? So it's not because you don't say you do say hol vishtani ishtani, but it's too late to change. Once there's a gemar din, you're a gavra katila, you're a dead guy. So far, Reb Chanina said is din. We try to prove it from the ratio of the Mishnah. We were not successful. We try to slug it up from the seifa of the Mishnah, and we weren't successful. Toshma, ben noach shehika es chaveroi, means he killed his friend. So ben noach killed his friend. What's he chayev? Saif. Ubo aleish es chaveroi, or he's over on gili aroyas. What's he chayev? Saif. Finis gayer, and now he's megayer. Potter. He's potter. Asa came be Yisrael. Let's say he killed a Jew, or he went ahead and was with a Jewish woman. Finis gayer, chayev. V'amai neima hoil ve'ishtani ishtani. Why don't we say he changed, the din changes, and the misa changes? Guys, what's Rabbi Chanina? Two components. The din, that always changes, right? The din always changes. You're going from one aid, one dayan, and no asra, to what? To two aidim, 23 dayanim, and yes asra. That always changes. The misa, let's do this outside. A guy that kills a person, what's he chayev? Come on, guys, you know by now. Sayef. A Jew that kills a person, what's he chayev? Sayef. Sayef. So the chayre, there's no hoil vishtani ishtani by what? By murder. It's the exact same thing. He didn't change it all. The only change was what? Was by the din. We need both. We need the din and the misa. Okay, now it gets interesting. Eishes ish by a goy is chenek. By a yid, by a goy is sayef. By a yid is chenek. So there's your kasha. There's your kasha, guys. There's your kasha. Your kasha is not from Mitzicha. Your kasha is from Aroyos. That's your kasha. The din changes, yeah, obviously, but the misa also changes. So why are you chayiv? You hear the kasha? That's the kasha. That's the kasha. Again, we need two things. Nina said two things. If your din changes and your misa changed, you're potter. If a goy kills a Jew and then is megayer, he's chayiv. Good. No kasha from that. If a goy is mizaneh with an eshes is of a Jew, she's a Jewish woman, and he's megayer, he's chayiv. Now, why is that a kasha on Reb Chanina? Because we have both the Reb Chanina's boxes to fill. Both, check off both boxes, guys. One, din always changes, right? Misa, a goy that is mizana with an eshes ish is sayif. Is mizana with the Bas Yisrael as a Jew, it's chenek. So the din changed and the misa changed. So look, you Reb Chanina, you should be pata of the Brisa state that you chayiv. That's the kasha. The kasha is from that latter case. Says the Gemara, right? Geschmack. Says the Gemara, Toshma. But no, shekas chaveru ba yeshes chaveru v'nis gaya pata. Also came Yisrael v'nis gaya chayiv. V'mai name a hoyel v'ishtani ishtani. Dinoi misasa bina. You need both. V'hai dinoi ishtani. His din changed because he's going from no edim, one eid, one dayan, no asra. Misasa lish ishni. But his misa did not change because by Ritzeach, sai before and after it's sayif. Bishleim Ritzeach make her sayif as a goy, v'hashte as a yid sayif. So therefore, what? It doesn't change. Since it doesn't change, I can say Yechayev. Ela Eishesish make her sayif. When he was bizano with the Bas Yisrael, when he was a guy, it's what? Sayif. V'hashte chenek. Hashte chenek. And for the Gemara B'nai Marasa, the Idividi Beskila. Okay, great teretz. We think for a second it's a great teretz. Going back in time, we said, and this held true. What was the trivia question? How is it possible for a ben Noach to mechayev skila if he comes with a nayim murasa? Because there is no parsha of nayim murasa by a goy. There is no idea of murasa. There's no betrothed period by a goy. So then we're going to judge him as a Jew, and since a Jew is skila, he's going to get skila. So therefore, it's not a kasha. It's not a kasha on Reb Chanina, because true, his din changed, but his misa did not. Because as a goy, he'd also be mechayev skila, and as a Jew, is also chayev skila. So there's not hoyel ishtani. There was no mishtana by the misa. You hear the teretz, guys? There's no mishtana by the misa. Memela, it's not a kasha of Chanina. Chanina only said Yipata when the din changed and the misa changed. Over here, the misa didn't change. You chayev skila before and afterwards. That's the Gemara's teretz. And the Gemara doesn't like that teretz. Aiva also came be Israel dumya de eshes chavei katani. Guys, there were two cases in the Brisa. One, he was mezana with a goyeta who was married. Two, he was mezana with a Bas Yisrael. Good? We need them to be the same. They're in the same Brisa. There is no pasha of Nayim Murasa by a guy. There's no Murasa by a guy. It doesn't exist. So obviously, if it's speaking by a guy, there's no Murasa. It must be speaking by a Yid, there's also no Murasa. It must be speaking about a regular woman. If it's a regular woman, you have the kasha, you're going from Sayif to Chenek. Yet you're Chayev. Like Reb Chanina, since the din changed and the misa changed, you should be pata. How we doing? Little cheshbendik, right? Little cheshbendik. Listen to this teretz. Outside. Fellas, you have $100. In $100, do you have 5s, 10s, 20s? Of course you do. Pashit. You have skila. In skila, you have chenek, you have hereg, sayif, you have sreifa. In other words, if you're dying the most chumridik death, memela what? In that death is the easier deaths. Yesh b'chal masayimana. In other words, if you're getting skila, if you get skila, guys, it'll be mechapa for what? For the easier ones. So why was this guy mechuyev? He was mechuyev what? He was mechuyev what? Sayif. So what did he do? He got chenek. In every sayif is chenek. So Memela the Misa did not change. That's the teretz. In every 1, 2, and 3, 4. In every level 3, you have 4. In every level 3, you have 4. It's a notch below. So Memela, your kasha is he's not getting the same Misa. If that's the case, no, we'll view it as the same Misa. Chenek is bechal sayif. Memela, what? The Misa didn't change, and that's why you chayev. And it's not a kasha on Reb Chanina. Because included in chenek is in sayif is chenek. Says the Gemara, Ela kola bechamura mishchach shaychi. The easier one in the Machama one is mishchach shaychi. Let's see Rashi, guys. 3 lines where it gets wide. Ela kola bechamura mishchach shaychi. Kloimar loilam be'eshes ish. It's speaking about an eshes ish and not an aymur rasa. Uda kakashalach, and you have a question. Am I chayiv? So why are you chayiv? Why don't we say hoyel ve'ishtani ishtani? Hari nishtano dino umisasai. Ein kan shine misa. You don't have a shine in misa. It doesn't change. The yesh b'chal misa chamura misa kala. In every misa chamura, you have the easier misa. The kivin they mekara have sayif the chamira. Since initially is mechuyev sayif, which is mochamar. V'hashta misa schenek kala. And now as a yid, he's from the chayiv misa schenek, which is easier. B'chal misa zuhi. The chenek is b'chal the original misa of out of sayif. Right. For Yosef mitchila, but the Chari he should have gotten this initially. Al birchas Hashem eikara havisayif kal hashta skil chamura. In other words, what's birchas Hashem? Why you part the guys? Guys, because birchas Hashem as a goy you get sayif, but what as a Jew you get the Muhammadic one. You get what you get skila. So, in other words, if you mechayev guys the harder one and you get the easier one, it's included. If you mechayev this one and you get the harder one, then it's not included. Why? Because you're being mechayev me more than a mechuyev. Okay, so that's the by chenek cheref and cherig and chenek. So I'm mechayev herig. You give me chenek, great. I'm mechayev sayif herig, and you're giving me skila. That hoyel v'ishtani. That's Reb Chanina's din. So guys, what was the kasha outside? The kasha was from Eishes Ish. That a ben noach is boil a Jewish woman, even when he's megayer, he's chayiv misa. Freg the Gemara on Reb Chanina, his din changed and his misa changed. His misa went from sayif to chenek, and for the Gemara, his misa didn't change, because in chenek is in sayif is chenek. Mashe'en came when he's mevarach the shame when he as a goy, and then he comes a Jew. He's going from sayif to skila. You don't say, guys, in sayif there's skila. Skila is mochamer. You don't say in $5 there's $100. Guys, you don't say in $5 is $100. You don't say in hereg there's skila. That's the difference between the two. Okay. Lema Messiah. Let's say no, I think I skipped. Right. Now, Hanich Rabbanon, very good according to Rabbanon, the Amar Sayif Chomer. Very good. This teretz works according to that Sayif is Mochamer. Oh, Reb Shimon, the Amachenech Chomer Ma'ikla Meimar. Late Reb Shimon, remember Reb Shimon switched around Sreifa and Skila, and he switched around Hereg and Chenek. He held Chenek was Mochamer. So if that's the case, he's going from a easier one to a harder one. He's going from Hereg, which is number 4, to Chenek, which is number 3. That's like going from Sayif to Skila. So it's the same problem. So it should be a problem for Reb Chanina, like Reb Shimon. Like Reb Shimon who holds that Chenek is Chomer. So he was Mechayev an easier Misa of Hereg, and now he's Mechayev a more Chomedik Misa of Chenek. Ma'ik Lamema. What are you going to say to answer up the Kasha on Reb Chanina? Because he should be Pata by Eishes Ish. Says Gemara, Reb Shimon Sava La Ketana Reb Nasha. Reb Shimon holds like the Tana Reb Nasha. Damar Kol Misa Mu'min Lebein Noach Ein El Chenek. He doesn't hold you get Sayif. He holds you do get Chenek, right? Get Chenek. So if that's the case, Bishlei Me'eshes Ish Me'kar Chenek V'Hash Chenek. So therefore, what he's Chayiv because you don't have a change in the Misa. So, but according to now you have a Kasher Eitzech. Initially, he gets chenek as guys, as a Ben Noach, he's getting chenek. As a Jew, he's getting sayif. Same teretz, guys, right? Chenek is mochamer, so he's getting off. It's the $100, and he's getting over with 5. So kala b'chamura mishach shayche. Very the same teretz, guys. Kala, the kala of sayif, according to Rav Shimon, is nivla, is swallowed up in the chumrah of chenek. Okay, so that's Reb Chanina has held serve. Is when you have a change in din and you haven't changed in misa, you pata. Provided the misa is what is a more chomedik misa, like what, like birchas Hashem, where you're going from sayif to skila. But if you're going downgrading to an easy misa, then no, you be chayiv. You be chayiv, because every easy misa is bechlal of the what, the more severe misa. Leima Messiah le lechayra. I can bring you a raya. Okay, Leima Messiah le. I'm going to bring a raya. Rashi says, I'm going to bring a raya. Reb Chanina the Amma bedina the hashda boilam medina, that you go after the din of now. In other words, that you go after the din of now. You don't go after what he was as a Ben Noach. You go after the din of now. You have a Naira Marasha, Sher Sarcha. She was Sarcha means that she acted smelly, meaning she was mizaneh, and her din is beskila. V'yachakach bagra. Again, she's a Naira from 12 in a day to 12 and 6 months. Now, at 12 and 6 months, what happens? Tiloi bechenek. You're going to go ahead and treat her like a regular adulteress. You're going to treat her like a regular mizaneh, and which is chenek, and not what, and not ashes, and not skila. You're going to go after now. You're going to go after the here and now. Skila my time aloi. Lav mishum hoyel ve'ishtani. She changed her body, changed from a naira to a baigeres. Ishtani hamisa also changes. So you're being a raya to Reb Chanina. Once you change from a yid to a goy, you change your misa. Who adin a naira marasa that's changing her body from what? From a naira to a baigeres. Also the misa changes, which would be what? Very shtim with Reb Chanina. That once there's a change in the din, here the change is in the body, the change would be in the misa. The kolshkein hacha, says the Gemara, loy. La mishum hoel v'ishtani ishtani. The kolshkein hacha by a ben noyach, the ishtani legamri, not only because his din changes. But by the Nair Marasa, what? By the Nair Marasa, only her body's changing, but the din's not changing. You're not going from a yid to a goy, from a goy to a yid. So, in other words, if Nair Marasa, that change is enough to facilitate a change in Misa, certainly going from being a goy to a yid can facilitate a change in the Misa. So that would be a raya to who? To Reb Chanina's din. So the Gemara says, no, it's not a raya. The Tana Didon, Tina Beskila. Even when if she did the Avera when she was a Naira Marasa, even if she's a Baigeris now, you're not going to go ahead and give her the Misa of now. Guys, you're going to give the Misa of before. You're going to give the Misa of Skila. So you have no raya. Leima Messiah, you wanted to bring a proof that a change facilitates a change in Misa. So you wanted to say a change in the body from a Naira to a Baigeres facilitates a change in the Misa. It's not true. The reason, there is no change in the Misa. She's going to get the same skila she would have gotten as a marasa. She's getting now as a begeris. Don't say tidin bechenek. Say tidin be skila.